Hello, I am Taureor and welcome back to Europa Universalis IV Start Guides, and this time, as some of you have requested, we are going to look at Burgundy. Let's get straight into the game. Burgundy is not a country that is often picked by players, and it has a very powerful event for Austria and France, which is the Duke of Burgundy dies. However, you do not have to worry about that because the event is disabled when you are playing Burgundy, as far as I know. Okay, so you start with your diplomatic relations field, which is very important, and you start surrounded by potential rivals. So it is not a very favorable position. However, you start as well as that. You start as a very powerful country, because you have 3 personal unions and a vassal. And your 5th diplomatic relation is the alliance with Brittany, which can prove useful, but most probably will not. Alright, let's have a look at our political situation. Those 3 countries here, so basically the Netherlands, are your subjects in a personal union, which is, well, both good and bad. You can't really inherit them for quite a long time, but they will provide you with a strong military backup. And I'm not sure how to pronounce that. However, this little country here in the province of Rethel is your vassal that you'll be able to annex after 10 years of gameplay. And I strongly suggest that you do so. You might even want to feed them beforehand. Now, your political situation is very important here, and your first moves will very strongly depend on who has rivaled you. So let's have a look. We have been rivaled by Denmark, Hungary, and France. Austria and England will also rival you quite often. As they have not in this situation, you will most likely want to try and get their help to fight France. The situation could be reversed. For example, France could not have rivaled you and could want to be your friend. This is a rather favorable start because Denmark and Hungary are really in no position to hurt you. France, England, and Austria are much greater threats, so if they rival you, it's a problem. Like here, France has rivaled you. So what you should do in such a situation is check out who hates the people who hate you. So France is hated by England, Austria, and Castile. This puts you in a rather good position, if that is the case, because you should be able to ally England, Austria, and Castile. Now, England is generally against that because they want your provinces. However, you could overcome that with improving relations, but it's probably not worth the hassle if they hate you already, which is usually the case because they do want those provinces. You can even check that looking here and looking here. Both France and England will want your provinces. So any alliances with them, even though you can form them, will most likely be very short-lived and will serve their purpose for a single war or so. Now, Austria is a much better bet. And if Austria is willing to get an alliance with you, you probably should do that. Now, it will depend on your path of expansion, but in such a setup that France hates you and Austria doesn't, an alliance with Austria should be very beneficial, and so would an alliance with Castile. Now, having all those powers together, you can easily beat France and take over their territory. So this is the path I would recommend. However, much can change depending on who hates you. For example, if Austria is your enemy instead of France, you will probably want to try and get friendly with France at least for one war. So now, as France is your main enemy, England could be persuaded to become friendly, then you won't have to worry about them, but they are also a good target for expansion. Now, speaking of expansion, you have to take into account the Holy Roman Empire. You are unfortunately not a member of the Empire. You could try to work around this and join the Holy Roman Empire, but it is not very likely that you will succeed because you would need to lose some provinces. For example, you would need to lose a war with, for example, France, and lose some provinces to them. And then you should be able to join the empire. Especially if you just lose those 4, your capital will automatically transfer to another province, which will in fact be an imperial province. So if you want to do that, that is the way to do it. However, most people don't like losing territory. Oh, right, this is your vassal as well. This province also belongs to your vassal. Most people don't like losing territory, so it's probably not the course of action that you will follow. Theoretically, if you really want to go that route of joining the empire, you could, for example, try... Oh, right, yeah, you can grant provinces, not sell them. Sometimes forget the new changes to the game. You could, for example, give some provinces to your vassals. For example, Flanders would like the province of Artois. They will become more powerful thanks to that, and they might become rebellious. But if you can give those provinces away, and for example give Charlois, I think that's it, to your vassal, you will be only left with the province of I'm not going to try and pronounce those names, with your capital province. And then you can lose a war giving it away, thus automatically transferring your capital to a province within the Holy Roman Empire, granting you a membership. This is a little bit convoluted, but if you want to join the empire, that is probably the easiest way to do it. Or you could just become weaker and join, or you could be elected emperor and then join on your own. Now, speaking of the emperor and becoming the head of the empire, you would, well, it's probably not the best course of action if Austria is a friend, because it can be much more beneficial to just use their help to conquer France. However, if it is not an option, you might want to just ally some of the electors, improve relations with them, while also rivaling Austria, which will in turn make them unlikely to ally with Austria and then vote for you instead. However, this is not very likely to succeed because you are not a member of the Holy Roman Empire. Now, if you did what I said with giving provinces away and joining the empire, that could work. And you could lose your capital either to France or to Provence. And you could actually attack Provence quite easily. You also have your ally of Brittany, being that could join you. And you can actually surrender and give provinces up even if you win the war. But again, that is only advisable if you really, really want to join the empire. Now let's look, take a closer look at that course of action. If you do join the empire, so let's rehash that. I could actually show this scenario to you. So let's assume we want to join the empire. That's how I would do it. I would first ally Austria. Let's unpause this. I would ally Castile. Now we are over relations limit. We are 2 relations over. However, those alliances are very, very valuable to us. Now, what I would do, it is not a proper scenario, it is just if I really want to join the empire. I would give Flanders the province of Artois, and I would give Flanders the province of Picardy. Now, they might become rebellious, so you might want to switch this giving provinces around a little bit. Estates have changed, let's not worry about that now. And you also need to get rid of this province, so I'll give it to my vassal. Okay, grant province. Here you go. Now, their liberty desire will increase slightly when I unpause the game, but it is nothing that will really worry you. That should really worry you. We are still under our force limit. We still have control of those territories, and we're still pretty strong. Still, it could become problematic now. So now what I need to do is get into a war. It doesn't really matter which one. It could be France, it could be Provence. However, Provence seems to be a much better choice. So let's do this. I'll just... can I get a mission to fight Provence? Not really. Where's Liège? It's here, and they are independent, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'll just fabricate a claim on this and let the game run while I tell you more about what I would do as Burgundy. So this is just the route of joining the Holy Roman Empire in the easiest way. If you do not wish to join the Empire, which is maybe the better choice, you can just start by conquering stuff. Again, I would advise against conquering stuff in the Empire, or at least against doing it when you have other options, because you will get a ton of aggressive expansion and relation penalties with other empire members if you do that, and you can easily become a target of a coalition. In a situation like that, when Austria is friendly and France is not, I would definitely recommend that you go after France and conquer as much of their territory as possible without triggering a coalition, and then lay low for a bit, maybe building your economy and stuff like that. We will talk about our economy and ideas soon. First, I should probably show you the joining the Holy Roman Empire bit. Also, we should probably take care of the estates, just because they want territory. Nobility wants more provinces, right? Okay, let's just give them whatever. Something that has high manpower should usually be prioritized. We don't really have anything to give them. I'll give you this province, just because. Alright. Brittany wants a royal marriage. Now, your relationship with Brittany will depend on a few things. For example, if you want to fight France and Provence, this is a good relationship. They're not very strong, but they can help you a little bit. If you want to, for example, ally France temporarily, then maybe you would like to abandon Brittany. You'll most likely want to abandon them anyway, because they are too big and strong to want to become a subject of yours. It's different if you want to get a personal union, but that's not very likely. Oh, you should probably also destroy some of the forts. But for that example, I'll leave them on. Destruction of forts will depend on what provinces you want to conquer and so on. I will definitely destroy the capital one, because I do want to abandon that province. Okay, so let's just let the game run for a while. And we have our alliances. We are already at 7 out of 5 diplomatic relations. As a general rule, I'd say you don't have to worry about that. If you go overboard with diplomatic relations, it's probably a good idea if it's worth it. Because an alliance within Austria and Castile and all the personal unions and the vassal are definitely more important than having free slots. Okay, so I will rival Provence because we're going to attack them. And I will rival France so that we get some more relations with our friends. Now, when this claim is ready, we will attack Provence. They have no allies, they do have a personal union junior member, and they are getting... Oh, they're giving military access to France. I did not expect that. So this is just an example. I wouldn't... Most likely I would not do that as my initial battle, my initial war. And we can even take a mission to conquer that province. Probably won't do that though, because we do want to lose. This is an example only. I could have Brittany join. Sure, we'll promise them land, but we won't give it to them. This is just an example war, once again. We'll just let it run at speed 5, because we're so vastly superior and we have our personal union members that they'll just win the war for us, and then we can actually surrender to them. Oh, maybe they will take the surrender now. Let me see. I'll offer you as tribute my capital, and they will take it. Okay. I just want to show you how it works, so yeah. We have given them our capital. We'll take it back, don't worry. Now, automatically, our capital has moved to a free province. This is why I have gotten rid of all the provinces outside the empire. Now our capital has moved to Cambrai, which is a province in the empire, and thus we have automatically joined the Holy Roman Empire. Now I can see our crest here. Why can't I see our crest here? Oh, here it is. See? We're now an imperial province, an imperial prince, sorry. I'm not sure if we started as a duchy or as a kingdom. I think we started as a duchy, so it doesn't really matter. And see, we are now a member of the empire, so we no longer have that malice to voting. We can now be elected emperor. Obviously, we have shrunk by half, but it is really not a problem, because our personal union subjects still are loyal, and our vassal is much smaller. Once we re-annex the vassal and reconquer our provinces from Provence, which we should do whenever it is possible, we'll be back to being strong, and we will be a member of the empire. So this is a suggested course of action if you want to join the HRA. And it opens up a few possibilities. For example, now you can actually conquer the imperial princes without triggering a war with the emperor, which can be very good. You can also have a greater chance of vassalizing them, you can have better relations, you get a tech boost, and in general you are protected by the emperor, whoever they are, and you don't really need to join through good relations with Austria. In that case, Austria is a friend, but you can do it even if they're hostile to you. However, that will leave you with an emperor that hates you, so it might not be the best idea. Okay, I think that's it about joining the empire. So if you took that course of action, you will most likely want to conquer Liège. You will want to reconquer your former capital and conquer as much Provence as possible, so basically this province. You will want to fight France or whoever is your enemy, and preferably get some more land on the coast. Now, if you did not join the Holy Roman Empire, you should expand, as I said, through France or England, depending on who hates you and who is your friend and who will support you in your wars. That will let you build a big enough economic backup, what's the word? Let's say just big enough economy to be able to challenge whoever is your next enemy, grow through France, maybe move around to Italy, maybe conquer England, keep away from the Holy Roman Empire as much as possible to not get too much aggressive expansion while you expand initially. If you didn't join the HRE. If you did, basically do the same thing, but you don't have to be afraid of occasionally conquering an imperial prince. However, if you do aim to become the emperor, you should definitely avoid aggressive expansion in the empire itself and make as many alliances with electors as possible. Now, this will be difficult because you won't have diplomatic relations, but you can just keep good relations. For example, now, if I improved my relations with Trier by 100, they would still vote for me. They would just become a supporter. Same with Mainz and same with Cologne. Now, Austria will be doing the same thing, trying to steal the votes, but you can move around that. I'll probably do another guide on how to become a Holy Roman Emperor if you don't start as one. England is a good target for conquest, and if they change their attitude like they did here, they might even be a good target for an alliance. In this particular case, they are unwilling to do so, but it all depends on the situation, on how strong you are, on your common rivals, and so on. Castile is a perfect ally because they can help you against France and England, and they will most likely be ruling over Aragon and Naples very soon. Okay, I think that concludes the geopolitical map mode, and now for the internal matters. Now, if you have joined the Empire and you are a few provinces poorer, your economy will be a difficult thing, and you will have to destroy some forts just to maintain your economy. You will have to downsize your army and so on. However, if you didn't, you will have a very good trading opportunity in the English Channel trade node. So do pay attention to that. Also, generally the lands around here are very rich. So if you conquer some land, you will get a lot from taxes and production. Now, important decisions are, for example, that you can form the Dutch nation. This is extremely strong, extremely important. After you have annexed your your personal union members, you will definitely want to do that, in my opinion, unless you want to stay in the HRE, because I think you will automatically leave the Holy Roman Empire. I'm not sure if that will happen. Yes, you will leave the Holy Roman Empire once you do that. Now, this can be a good thing, this can be a bad thing. It depends on what you really want to achieve. If you don't want to leave the Holy Roman Empire, you will just want to stay as Burgundy. You can also form France, which is maybe even a stronger thing than forming the Dutch nation. However, it requires France to not exist. So this is a very strong decision for you because the French ideas are among the best in the game. And so are Dutch, but French are better. But to do that, you will actually need to destroy France. Actually, you will need to conquer basically all of that. So that's something to remember. So yeah, you have two decisions, form France, form the Netherlands. I would strongly advise towards forming France, or not forming any of them if you want to be in the Empire. Keep in mind you can do that even if you don't join the Empire, so if you didn't go the initial route that I took. Now, as for ideas and technology, your Burgundian ideas are not very good, unfortunately. they mostly center around mercenaries, which is mostly crap, sorry. You also get a little bit of a boost for trade, and a little bit boost for tolerance and discipline in general, and here prestige. Also manpower, but those are by no means good ideas. Burgundian ideas I consider to be very weak. However, your mercenaries will be cheaper, so if you combine that with administrative ideas, which also make your mercenaries cheaper, that can actually turn into an advantage. Because you will have tons of mercenaries that will be dirt cheap and will not require manpower. So administrative ideas are certainly something to consider, but remember they are only worthwhile if you go mercenary heavy on your armies. So this is mostly a military choice, but it will give you co-creation cost reduction and admin technology cost reduction. So in general, for Burgundy, this is my first choice, administrative ideas. I would also advise trade ideas, because the English Channel trade node will provide you with lots of income. Alternatively, if you want to go to the New World, which you certainly can in this position, you might want to go for the exploration ideas. And another pick that is very good for Burgundy is influence ideas. Because diplomatic annexation cost will reduce the cost of integrating your personal union junior members. You can integrate them, or you can wait for them to be inherited by you. And in general, I would probably, I don't know, it would depend on the situation. I might want to integrate them just to get more economic base if I have joined the Holy Roman Empire. If I have not, I'd probably wait for that to trigger on its own, because as they are smaller than you, there will be a good chance. You'll have to wait 50 years for that, though. So let's go back to ideas. So, in general, if you want to integrate your subjects, influence ideas are good. If you don't bother. Don't bother with them. In general, any diplomatic or influence ideas will be good for you if you want to expand in the Holy Roman Empire and maybe become the emperor. However, you must consider your priorities. Do you need money more, or do you need diplomatic influence more? Or do you want to explore? So basically you will need to pick one at least early on. You can always start exploring later. You will be a little bit behind, but your large economic base that you have built by then should prove sufficient to actually get some colonial possessions. And from the admin group, I definitely advise administrative ideas. And from the military ideas, you should stay away from things that consider manpower. That give you manpower, because you will mostly be using mercenaries as Burgundy. So probably go quality. Quality may be offensive, may be defensive. Quantity is not that good for you. And aristocratic, well, maybe, if you want a bonus diplomat, but generally I wouldn't advise that. Okay, I think that covers the ideas for Burgundy. And as you advance, you will get cheaper mercenaries, so probably the admin ideas might be a good choice as the first idea group. That obviously means that you will have to focus on admin early on, which is usually a good idea. Now, your heir is crap, your king is wonderful. He is quite old though. So you will... I would advise that you make your heir a general as soon as you can, so that he dies, and put him in all the battles that you can. Your king is wonderful, so don't do that, and hope that he lives forever. Also improve your relations with Austria, and make your prestige high, so you might get a Habsburg dynasty. And getting a Habsburg dynasty opens up a few opportunities. In general, if you kill your heir and your king is quite old and won't get a new one, you will have the opportunity of becoming someone else's dynasty. You need to be careful not to get into a personal union under someone, because you'll lose all your subjects and so on. However, well, not all of them, just the personal union members. However, getting someone else's dynasty could be very beneficial. For example, if you became the Trastamara or Habsburg, you could then enforce personal unions on those people. Even getting the same dynasty as Brittany could be useful. Or whoever is your friend between England and France. Probably no one, but you can always hope. Also, the Danish dynasty of von Wittelsbach could be useful to you, because they also appear, I think, in Bavaria. Yeah, Bavaria. Hohenzollern also is a good idea, but you will have to limit your options. Basically, I would say don't go over 7 diplomatic relations unless you really have to. So in such a situation, when we have 4 subjects and an alliance with Brittany, Castile and Austria are other options. So becoming either von Habsburg or the Trastamara or Brittany's dynasty, the Droy, I think that's how you pronounce that, will be a good thing for you. Generally, you'll lose legitimacy when that happens, but you can enforce more personal unions. What else? Annex your vassal as soon as you can, and I think that's it. That's how I would play Burgundy. And personally, I think I would go the Holy Roman Empire route, even though it means getting weaker at the beginning. You can even test that and maybe not need to give provinces up. But I think it's the safer route, because if you didn't give those 2 and this one up, your capital will probably move to Picardy or Artois or something. I haven't really dealt with that issue, so where your capital will move. I could investigate that further. Maybe we could avoid losing some provinces. Yeah, in general, that is my play for Burgundy. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button and join me for the next one. See ya!